So, how are you getting on with your LEDs? You can see here that I have connected all 4 of my LEDs. I've used different colour cables. I think that's quite useful. I've got different coloured jumper wires going into each of the 4 LED pins here. And they are coming over onto the right hand side of my Pico. They're going into pins 21 down to 18, counting down from the top. 21, 20, 19, 18. And you can see this reflected in my Thonny code that my first LED, my red one, is going into the top, and that is pin 21, and we count down like that. So what you can see here is the code that I have created to just reset and switch all of the LEDs off, which means that if I'm creating other code with loads of funky flashing patterns, then if I've stopped my code at a random point and some of my LEDs are on and some are off, I can just reset them all with this little bit of code here. You can see also that I've kept in the pin 25, the onboard LED, just in case I'm using that. So this code won't do anything. They are all off at the moment, but I can run this code and that just ensures that I'm starting from scratch. Now I wonder whether you have created a little flashing pattern. I've got some code here. Let's take a look at that. Let's get it all on the screen. I've got it's quite a long bit of code now, isn't it? Where I've defined all of my 4 LEDs, and can you see the names I've given them? LED 1, LED 2, LED 3, LED 4. This makes it really clear which command I'm giving. Am I telling LED 3 to switch on? Yes, I am. It's really clear because of the variable name that I have chosen. If I just called LED 3 Bob, then it's not so easy to work out what is supposed to happen when I say Bob, switch on. So I am trying to use really sensible variable names here. So I have initialized them all by switching them all off. And then I switch my green onboard LED on. And then I go round in a loop where 1 and 4 get switched on, but 2 and 3 get switched off. Then I sleep for half a second, and then 1 and 4 go off and 2 and 3 go on, and then I sleep for another half a second. Can you picture what's going to happen when I run this code? Pause the video if you like, take a good look and see if you can work out what's about to happen. Here we go. There. Can you see it's almost like a little level crossing or something like that. That's what it makes me think of, a railroad in an American movie or something. There's my little flashing pattern. LEDs 1 and 4, the ones on the outsides, are doing the same thing. And LEDs 2 and 3 in the middle there, they are doing the same thing. Now, let's just click stop and show you all of the code again. So you can see that there's quite a lot of code here where I'm deliberately saying, for each LED, switch on, switch off, switch on, switch off. So that's taking quite a lot of space. I'm sure other people have encountered this problem. They wouldn't have done this otherwise. Someone has created another little funky function called toggle. Let me show you toggle. So instead of saying each time, well, if it's on, switch it off, and if it's off, switch it on, someone has come up with a little function that they've written, and it's called toggle. Do you know what happens when you toggle a light switch? Well, let's find out, shall we? First off, you can see that my LEDs have been stopped at a point where some of them are on. I'm going to go to my reset program. I'm going to run my reset program, which has switched off all of my LEDs. So now I know I'm starting from fresh. So here we go. So I'm coming back to this code. It looks really similar to the one that I've just shown you, but now with this toggle function, I can just toggle each of the LEDs. Let's see what happens. There we go. Can you see that we've got exactly the same thing happening from this code as we had before? But now why are 1 and 4 still doing the same thing, and 2 and 3 still doing the same thing, but both those pairs are doing opposites? Well, the key is not this toggle in this loop. The key is to how I initialize them before we started in the loop. So these lines of code here, before we started going round and round that loop, I said, right, your initial values, your starting values are 1 and 4 are going to be on, and 2 and 3 are going to be off. So I've set up the pairing before creating and going into that loop. I wonder if you could do something similar. Set up a loop with some kind of repeating pattern, but set some initial values so that when you are toggling your LEDs, then the pattern comes out as you want. You might want to just do 3 together and 1 differently. You might want to have a more complicated pattern going on. You might want to toggle each one in turn, maybe. There's lots of different things that you can do. Or if you prefer, you can just use my code, which will be available for you, or you can copy it out of this video just to see what happens.